first glance, it seems like a great day for a hike in Utah's famous Slot Canyons. But this is not the time or place to test your fortune. With the constant threat of deadly flash floods in the area, even distant clouds in the sky deserve more than a quick look. Without warning, the sky soon thickens with thunderheads, typical of the rainy monsoon season that hits the southwest region in late summer. Rain quickly begins flooding the canyon. Now you're at risk for becoming trapped in the churning water that is rising by the moment. What would you do to survive a flash flood while hiking in a canyon? Should you A. Continue hiking until you get to dry land, B. Get to higher ground, even if it means backtracking a bit, or C. Swim to safety? Flash floods can overtake an area in a matter of minutes and kill anyone in their wake. One of the deadliest incidents in a slot canyon involved 11 tourists who drowned in a flood on an Arizona Indian reservation. In 2013, rising waters filled the Utah Slot Canyon where Tony Barlow was hiking with his entire family.
First it was a couple inches and then 3 or 4 inches, and we started seeing these pretty significant waterfalls forming.
Even more terrifying for the Barlow family, they are separated. Tony, his sons, and his brother hiked ahead of his wife, his mother, and his daughter. He knows he should choose to wait with his boys, but he fears for the rest of his family.
I didn't know where my wife was and my daughter was, and so I think I kind of listened more to my heart, and we just started to run.
Fear moves Tony faster. He knows they could drown at any moment. 2013, rising waters filled the Utah Slot Canyon where the Barlow family was hiking. Tony Barlow, with his sons and his brother, are separated from his wife, mother, and daughter. Fear moves Tony faster. He knows they could drown at any moment.
There are few things more dangerous on Earth than being trapped in a slot canyon in flash flood conditions.
Water continues to fill the narrow canyon. Things are getting slippery and more dangerous by the second for the Barlow boys. So if you were caught by a flash flood in a canyon bottom, what would you do to survive? If you answered B, there is a strong chance you'd be alive to tell the story.
The best strategy if you're hiking in a slot canyon and it starts to rain is immediately seek higher ground, even if that means backtracking to a location where you know it has access.
In a narrow canyon like the ones in Utah, you may need to take extreme measures to get to higher ground. If you said keep hiking until you reach dry land, that would leave you exhausted.
Not only is it very tiring to walk through knee-high floodwaters, but it's almost impossible.
Tony and the boys continue through the muddy water. It's only been a few minutes since the rain began falling, but the Barlow family doesn't know if more water could come rushing in.
I kept kind of looking over my shoulder and expecting to see kind of a big wall of water.
Time for a quick quiz. True or false? A flash flood can occur in any area, even without any rain. The answer is true.
It doesn't even have to be raining locally for a flash flood to occur there. You can have the water falling over mountains somewhere upstream and then run very fast down the stream and rise very quickly, several feet per minute, in these areas that even have not had even a drop of rain.
I had no idea we could do as much as that till rain.
Again, Tony thinks of his missing girls.
I hope they got back.
There is nothing you can do to mitigate a flash flood except not being put in that position.
But if you do go out, watch for clues that danger is approaching.
Clouds, especially big, thick storm clouds, are an indicator of rain.
And in the slot canyons, rain equals flooding.
It seemed like an eternity to get down the canyon. It was only 10 minutes.
In that clearing, Tony found his wife, daughter, and mother.
My boys came around the corner and they threw their arms up and they're like, yeah! And I was just really excited to see them.
It is not easy to make it through a flash flood, especially in a narrow canyon. But these tips will help you survive. First, check the weather forecast before hiking and watch for building storm clouds. Get to higher ground as soon as rain begins. And plan your trip accordingly to avoid the heavy monsoon rains. In the end, the Barlows learned lessons that will stay with them for a lifetime.
I'm just thankful that we made it. I guess I just think to myself, just a little bit more water, and we would have been in real trouble.
In my experience in the outdoors, sometimes the most beautiful places also are the most dangerous.